Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving into a deeply personal, totally fascinating spiritual journey that actually lays out a kind of universal blueprint for self-discovery. We are going to unpack the idea that the path to inner mastery isn't just about what you dig up inside yourself, but how that inner world is perfectly reflected in the incredible mentors and teachers we stumble across along the way. If you've ever wondered why certain people just magically appear in your life at the exact right moment to teach you something, you are absolutely going to love this.
Okay, let's kick things off with the first of two fundamental truths that pretty much every seeker eventually hits on when it comes to personal growth. And it's this: you must walk your own path. Nobody is going to do the push-ups for you, right? Whether that's physical or spiritual. You are entirely 100% responsible for your own transformation. That is the absolute bedrock of all self-discovery.
But here's the paradox, and it's a big one. Yes, you have to do the heavy lifting, but you don't actually walk the path alone. Throughout our whole lives, we rely on friends, guides, and teachers. But they aren't there to just spoon-feed us the answers. They're basically there to help us remember who we truly are. They act as mirrors. So today, we're going to explore three very specific, wildly different teachers from our source material who profoundly shaped one seeker's journey.
Section 1. Maharaji, the boy who carried a universe. Let's meet the very first point of light on this path. Now get this brilliant, deeply compassionate teacher, he was literally just 13 years old when the seeker met him in India. Imagine sitting down with a teenager who holds the secrets of the universe, but still totally acts like a kid. He loved playing games, and he'd fire off one-line jokes so fast you'd think you might actually die laughing. He was this incredible mix of a best friend and a profound mirror.
Maharaji really served as a mirror for the seeker's own inner drive. He was all about responsibility, discipline, and, pure joy. He handed over these highly effective meditation techniques that quite literally opened the door to a lifelong inner world for the seeker. We're talking techniques so powerful they were still being used decades later. He was the ultimate catalyst for taking absolute responsibility for your own growth.
And here is a really fascinating takeaway. Maharaji was not some isolated hermit hiding away in a cave. Not at all. He married young, he raised a family, he lived super actively in the real world, and he actually built real wealth. The seeker admired this, not for the money itself, but for what it represented. Maharaji completely proved that you can be deeply spiritual while actively creating your own happiness, manifesting your dreams, and building the exact life you want right here in the physical world. So let's see how this journey evolves, because the next teacher represents a pretty radical shift. If Maharaji was the mirror for that grounded, disciplined reality and real-world manifestation, the next teacher was a mirror for something much more ancient, highly esoteric, and profoundly cosmic. It just goes to show how our needs totally shift as we walk our path.
Section 2. Mafu, the ancient voice. Enter Mafu, a massive, ancient presence channeled by Amaji, a beautiful American saint who passed these incredibly rigorous tests in India to be ordained a Swami.
The crazy thing here, the seeker's own spiritual guides had actually predicted this connection before Amaji even started channeling. They flat out told the seeker that Mafi would be one of their teachers, and they hit the nail on the head. This kicked off a stunning 40 profound meetings with Mafi, starting way back in 1986.
If the last teacher was all about discipline, Mafu was the ultimate master of deep emotion and ancient wisdom. He guided the seeker through the sheer power of thought and ancient Vedic techniques. These meditations were heavily guided and just packed with wild imagery and symbolism from cultures all over the world. Being in his presence literally unlocked visions of past lives in Egypt and brought on these completely overwhelming moments of unconditional love. He taught the art of truly coming home to yourself. Right out of the gate, during their very first spoken interaction, Mafu threw out what sounded like a massive test. He asked, "What can I give you? Riches, anything you desire?" And the seeker's response was just beautiful. They didn't ask for a single thing. They realized they were already spiritually home. This connection wasn't about scoring material stuff. It felt deeply timeless and, honestly, just like sitting down with a best friend who treated absolutely everyone as equals.
Okay, so we've had the disciplined teenager and the deeply emotional ancient sage. But sometimes, personal growth gets a little too serious. Well, the universe definitely has a remedy for that. This third teacher proves that enlightenment doesn't have to take itself so seriously all the time.
Section 3. Zoran, the Cosmic Joker.
Channeled by Makara, Zoran was essentially the ultimate cosmic friend. He was a teacher from a past lifetime who came back teaching through completely unconventional stuff. Toys, uproarious laughter, and just an absolute unbridled love for life.
Zoran basically woke up the Seeker's inner child. We're talking total joy, play, ecstasy, and radical freedom. He was the absolute perfect mirror to prove that enlightenment isn't meant to be solemn or stiff or boring. It is vibrantly, wildly alive.
His whole philosophy is just so beautifully simple, and it boils down to this. Enlightenment is joy. Meditation is ecstasy. Life is not a struggle. Let that sink in for a second. Think about how often we make our personal growth feel like this grueling chore. Zoran's message is just this massive, powerful reminder that life is entirely meant to be loved. And through all that radical joy, Zoran unlocked the Seeker's cosmic identity. He taught the deepest secrets of energy. The experiences were completely mind-bending. Everything from spending a month in Mexico to finding out about a past life on planet Nucleus and even taking a literal tour of his mothership. He guided meditation so intensely powerful that the Seeker's physical body felt like it was literally dissolving into pure light.
So into our final section, integrating the three mirrors. How on earth do you combine these three vastly different teachers into a single, unified path? It's what the source calls the triangle of growth. Think of each teacher as a totally distinct, absolutely necessary mirror for the Seeker's own soul. Maharajji reflected that grounded discipline and responsibility. Mafu reflected deep wisdom and emotional mastery. And Zoran, he reflected joy and cosmic identity. 3 points of light, all guiding the Seeker right back to their own center.
And this brings us right back to that very first truth we talked about. By integrating thought, emotion, and energy, you hit the ultimate realization. Teachers are amazing. They guide you, they completely inspire you, but eventually, you have to walk your own path. You have to put in the work, integrate their tools into your everyday life, and ultimately become your very own teacher.
There's this fantastic philosophy the Seeker shares here. We are only as strong as the weakest link. By making one of us strong, we all become stronger. It shows that we're all caught up in this grand, interconnected dance. In this life, we are all constantly swapping roles, acting as students one minute and teachers the next. Every single person you meet might just be holding a missing piece of your puzzle. And Zoran actually wrapped this whole thing up with a final whisper that just perfectly captures the journey. He said, "Traveler, you walk your path, but you walk it with friends." It's the perfect summary of shared empowerment. These teachers didn't build the Seeker from scratch, they simply polished the mirrors so the Seeker could finally see their true self. Which leaves us with this final thought for you today. As you keep walking your own unique, magnificent path of self-discovery, just take a moment to look around. Think about the people who challenge you, the people who keep you grounded, and the people who make you laugh until your sides hurt. Who are your mirrors, and what parts of yourself are they helping you remember?